here and the other hand right here. This gives you the opportunity to practice the motion. This video, we're going to cover a concept. There's a lot of ways to do this, but we're going to cover 3 called guard destruction. When someone has their hands up, we are usually looking for some sort of opening to take advantage of. And it's great to find openings, but it can work really well to create openings as well. Basically what we're talking about is we take their guard and we destroy it somehow. Hence the name guard destruction. There's certain positions you have to recognize. He has his hands up really high. Let's say he brings them down to his cheekbones. Now this is where where we're gonna slap the hand down, that's a good position for this guard destruction. If they're up here, it can be a little harder, not impossible, but if it's a little bit lower, then that works better for this. So I might be firing some light punches just to test out where the guard is, and it looks like I'm about to throw a cross at his head. So I don't actually throw a cross, and I just slap the hand down, and I'll catch him with the hook. So obviously I'm not gonna hit him, but I'll demo what it might look like. Boom, 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 pop, boom. When you practice this with a person you're not sparring with or not fighting with, it's kind of hard to practice violently because the chance that you kind of like skim their face or actually hit them, it's you got to be careful when you're training it. So for the sake of training it, might have his hand out here and the other hand right here. This gives you the opportunity to practice the motion of throwing the hook right off the slap down. And then when you're in a fight, you don't care if you hit them. You don't care if you scrape the side of their face. You just violently slap it down and you can catch them on the chin. But for the sake of practicing, maybe take your hands off your head. One more time, right? Boom, 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 boom. That is the slap down. Another thing we can do is we might have that opponent who likes to keep their hands off their face. Or whenever you start throwing, they kind of reach and maybe try to adopt a long guard. When they do this, it can be really irritating to try to find gaps. I think the uppercut's great. People find a way to block it. If this hand is extended, you can just throw a hook with no intention to land it. He will probably bring that guard back very hard to the side of his head, thinking I'm trying to hook. I'll just hook that down and fire a straight, an overhand, my own hook. So you got somebody you're moving in, they kind of long guard out. You'll just throw, and let's have, I mean, if they're like this, I'll just get out of the way. So let's be clear. They're probably a little bit vertical with their forearm. So I can throw a hook, that just clears it. Bang. Very important to not go like this and like this for obvious reasons. Show them why. Bang, right? Make sure that after you do that hook down, that the other hand comes up. So we've got the slap down to the hook. We can hook the hand out of the way. Boom. If he's got his hands up, and sometimes you just can't get a good grip, or you can't get inside enough to hook it down, you can actually punch the arm out of the way. Lineker and Bibiano. Lineker punched the arm to catch. Actually, he hit Bibiano in the face though, didn't he? I always go to the liver. So that is what we're doing. We've seen it before, but just to make sense of how it works, you can throw this punch straight at his body. If I throw it straight at his arm, there's a chance that I'm just gonna catch the forearm and just collapse it inwards. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this punch on a bit of a 45. They don't know that I'm gonna throw it on a 45, but it's gonna open up his arm like a saloon door. Boom. Now you wanna hit the head or the body. I tend to go for the body. Boom. You can do that, okay? You can also do this high. If their shell's a little high, you can actually punch in this one a little bit of a 45, but you can just punch there to the wrist. One of two things are gonna happen. Okay, so if I throw this punch and it'll open it like a saloon door if it's on a 45. If he's a little tighter with his guard, sometimes all that'll happen is that you'll push them into this position. So I throw the punch and it just slides back a little bit. You've still created an opening for something to come through. Really can't practice this one too fast because you accidentally punch them in the face, but hands up, boom, there, that's enough, that's all I need. You don't need the guard to move a lot, you just need it to move a couple inches. So just to review real quick, first one, hands were a bit lower perhaps, I'm gonna slap down and hook. Next one, they're doing this, they're kind of freaking out, boom, hook it down, make sure the other hand comes up. And then that last one, you can just punch through. If their guard is narrow, I'm probably not gonna do this, but if they've left me a little bit of space between their arms, that's it. I can punch the elbow, or if you go high on the wrist, it'll either open them up or just put them here. In both cases, they'll be open. Apply that concept to a lot of different ways. I'm not gonna go over them all, but instead of hooking this one, I can hook this one and throw that hook. I can go like this, miss the cross. Boom, instead of slapping it down, boom, I can pull down and catch it. So try to think up as many ways as you can to destroy somebody's guard and start creating openings instead of just hooking.